What's going on, friend? Welcome to this episode of Under the Covers. I'm your host, Preston Schmidli, and I'm very excited to discuss a book that I really enjoyed myself. It's one of over 36 that a mentor of mine has written, and this is Dan Kennedy's No BS Guide to Ruthless Management of People and Profits. And the reason I want to talk about this with you today, and the reason I'm recommending this for you, is because if you're running a business right now, there is no higher obligation to the business, to the clients, to the team members than profit. And this is a sensitive subject in a lot of circles and a lot of communities because, talking about profit is almost like this taboo type thing. And at the end of the day, we don't have payroll if we don't have profit. We don't have a company if we don't have profit. We can't serve the people we serve if we don't have profit. Profit is the lifeblood of your organization. And a lot of books now, and I've read a lot of operational people management type books, especially in the last year. And there's like a common theme of safety, right? Like not about doing what's needed, not about operating an efficient machine, but it's all coming from like a PC culture safety type thing. And I love that Dan really lives up to the no BS element of this book because he just shoots straight on practical business advice to maximize your profit and make sure that the people in your organization are the right people doing the right things. And ultimately you're unified to maximize profit. Like I said, there's no higher obligation of you, of your company, to serve your business, the community, the clients, whatever your mission is, whatever you sell, and however you sell it, profit's numero uno. It always has been, it always should be, okay? Making sure that you are managing your team in a way that supports that is critical. A lot of people, if you think back to, let's just say a doctor appointment you went to at a specialist, or maybe a chiropractor, or, working with a real estate agent, it could even be a taco truck. A lot of the times, the people within the business aren't managed effectively. They're managed very loosely, and there's no tying them to like a KPI that matters and making sure that they're doing the behaviors that are necessary. One of the things that Dan has talked about is essentially there's different ways that employees steal. They steal money, they steal supplies, they can steal time, which is one of the most common ones. There's other various forms of theft, one of which, as he explains, is, for instance, a salesperson that decides not to use the script they've been provided from the company. That's a form of theft, right? Because they're depriving the business of revenue that should come in if the practices, the SOPs, the processes were being followed, right? And so this book, The No BS Guide to Ruthless Management of People and Profits, breaks down how you can put your business on rails to an extent and remove a lot of those barriers and points of friction that you have generally with people. And to be honest, and we've kind of encountered this ourselves as we've grown to a decent sized team, the more people you have, the more complex and nuanced the machine becomes. It was once explained to me by a past mentor as, small boats are kind of easy to steer in different directions. But the larger the boat is, if you have a frigate, for instance, it takes time to turn it, right? And so just mechanically, the more people, the more difficult it is to manage, and the more you have to be ahead of this. So if you're already a large organization, this book is overdue. But if you're a smaller organization, you're thinking about hiring people, or you already have people, but you want to make sure you're maximizing that, I highly recommend the No BS Guide to Ruthless Management of People and Profits. And please don't let the word ruthless, sway you away from picking up this gem. It's ruthless in the sense that it's doing what needs to be done for the business. And I think a lot of people look at that like, well, I don't want to be ruthless. And I think that you need to recalibrate that. If you're trying to run a business, you probably should be more ruthless about your profit. Obviously, you want to help people, you don't want to hurt people, but within that, you could be ruthless to the extent where you dominate your market, you dominate your industry. You're not trying to hurt people, you're just trying to dominate, right? So I think that there's room for all of us to be a little bit more ruthless in that, but please don't let that word, I know a lot of people have like a stigma around that word, and I think that there's actually a lot of, I've had the conversations about this book over the years, and some people will talk about how they don't agree with it just because of the title. And I promise you, if you can get past that, because I personally think, I don't know, the word ruthless doesn't scare me away from it, because it's like, I'm not afraid to be ruthless if I have to be, right? I think if you can get past that, if that is a thing for you, and just dive into the book, I promise you, it's going to help you be more profitable, probably help you increase your revenue, lower your costs, and ultimately the sum of that is profit. So pick it up, read it. I promise you, it's gonna have at least a nugget, but I mean, this thing is designed to give you takeaways. So read it right now, get the audiobook, whatever you gotta do. This is a book I highly recommend. I'll see you in the next episode.